sent a message to our customers. So for now, the Akirele branch, which was our first store.
Yes.
We had been in that branch for 26 years.
Wow. Wow.
We had expanded.
Your flagship store,
yes,
like they say.
We had expanded like 6 times. We were always so one store had become 2 stores had become, so it was a case. Remember, this business is a covenant business.
Yes.
So in the first year at Itaja, it was 1 room.
Yes.
I remember my father gave her another room, so they joined it. So it was happening in this same store. And from downstairs, we had gone upstairs. And God was just expanding us, you know, and we're opening more branches. But, you know, the story is that, you know, so the fire had taken place. And we said we must move forward. And of course, COVID happened. Guess what happened next? NSAS. Hey, Father Lord.
I remember that one.
We thank you, Lord. And so NSAS happens. And, you know, I remember it was October 2020.
Yes.
The NSAS, of course, we're all part of memory.
Yeah.
And so when NSAS happened, we didn't know it would turn out bloody. And I remember I had gotten a phone call that night, and they said, "Oh, they're vandalizing your store in Lekki." I said, no, they can't vandalize our store in Lekki. No, they said they were vandalizing the mats. Yes, the mall. Yes, you know. And we now said, okay, we couldn't go anywhere. Our prayers that we will not see war in Nigeria. So, you know, the following morning, you know, I think how we knew that they had vandalized our store was, I got a phone call from SAS Lekki. This phone is meant to be inside the shop. The person even had the infantry to call us.
You're joking.
Let's start the infantry to call us, you know, and that's how I knew that our store. So immediately we send our CSOs in the morning and we say, oh, please, can you come and find out? And they said, okay, the shop has been broken into, but the shop still looks intact. Wow. It's such a testimony. So it was on the ground floor. We had just moved into where we used to be on the second floor. Yes. God had taken us from the second floor to so when it takes from behind to the front. And you know, it was a God-ordained movement, you know, and by the time we see the store, so everything was still intact. But remember, remember the shops had been broken, so the shops were still volatile. And they said they were coming back. And it's such a story of grace, because I remember that Wednesday, I can't remember what day of the week, but we tried to call for help. Oh, please, we need someone that can help us to move our things, because this was in Lekki and I was living in Surulere.
It's really extraordinary grace.
Yes.
I mean, for a store with fabrics that they know they can sell easily, to be broken into.
And it was intact.
And it was intact.
Yes.
Wow.
And so the story is that, I'll tell you that story, but you know, so so we tried to board up the stores. Yes. You know, we couldn't even get help. No carpenters. And so when it was 4 o'clock, we had called everybody we know. I remember the person that called me, she was the first lady. I said, please, can you send your orderlies? She said, no, we can't go everywhere because they were still shooting. Yes. And, you know, I said, so after you don't know what to do, well, the next thing to do is to go on your knees in prayers. And I remember my sister and I, we went on our knees.
After you've done all.
Oh, yes. We had called everybody, please, we need help. Because our things were still there. And, you know, the thing that we said was, let us go to the Lord in prayers. And after we prayed, we worshipped. I said, let's just worship the Lord. We worshipped for about an hour. Then the next thing we did was to read Psalm 20. That may the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. And the miracle now happens. Somebody now calls to say, oh, I live in the neighborhood and I can see that your store is opened up. Auntie, we can help you to clear everything. And so this lady gathers people and she clears everything. So the mall had given us somewhere on the 3rd floor. She just gathers men. And 2 weeks after she had done this, I had to say, please, I need to know who this lady is. And
a total stranger.
Yes,
you didn't even know her.
Yes. And my brother said, in one of our stores, now Ikoyi branch, we used during the COVID period. Yes. Remember there was a lockdown. Yes. And so this lady was a baby mama for one of our ex-staff. Okay. And she had reached out to my brother who manages Ikoyi branch. Yes. And she says, please, I need help. I need food. And my dear brother supports her. She's the same person that sees that the store is broken into.
Wow.
And she gathers people to care. And she was able to,
I
think with the help of angels, because when we're moving from upstairs, it took us 3 days.
Yes.
This girl cleared everything with angelic assistance.
Wow.
In 3 hours.
You know, when you're kind to people, when you show, mercy,
yes,
kindness to others,
yes,
by the time it's being repaid to you, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked.
And it's one of the most profound things that I saw, because it was just God trying to tell you that the arm of flesh will fail you.
That's
right. I called all the important people. They couldn't help me.
Wow.
But God sent us helpers.
Wow.
And you know,
an ordinary person that you would not have thought could
I still don't
you.
even know
a
her.
Stranger.
Yes. She mobilized a team. In fact, the system, all the things in reservation. So now the story continues. So this was Lekki's store. And you know, it started from Lekki, the toll gates.
Yes.
Shortly after we had sorted out Lekki and we're all rejoicing, thanking God, we get another phone call. They are broken into ShopRite in Surulere.
Oh dear.
Oh, I said it's not possible. And so I called the chairman of the mall. He says, Madam, it's true. There are over 1,000 people.
Wow.
Right then. Hey! May we not see trouble.
Amen.
And we were all together again. We tried to move towards the mall. They said, don't even try.
Don't try
there.
with 1,000
but
people.
You know, I was still monitoring the progress. You know, we sent one of our staff who was like a man.
Yes.
I said, please go and check the store. So at 9 o'clock, he calls me and he says, Auntie, our stores are still intact.
Wow.
We're very happy. We're very happy.
No, you're joking.
No, I've not
with
finished.
With the level of damage that was shared on social media.
I think we're still, I think God wanted me to concentrate on prayer. But at around midnight, I now get a call from my neighbor. He said, Madam, they've broken into your store. In fact, and he says they're even using keke to carry out the fabrics.
Wow.
And I said, okay. They're using keke to carry out the fabrics. Could I sleep that night? So I remember waking up in the morning and my heart was very heavy. And my husband says, Tony, calm down. Remember the God that you serve.
That's right.
You know, and I calmed down. And you know, we went to the store, and of course I didn't go, but my husband and my sister went, and we saw the carnage. It was like a war zone. Wow. It was like Hotel Rwanda. They had vandalized over 120 stores. None was left behind.
Because we saw it on social media.
And we thank God, because and I remember my sister calling me and says, oh yes, they've vandalized, but we're going to get up our loins. So fortunately, we had a warehouse at the back that I think they had seen in the morning. But this God, he always leaves a place of joy.
That's right.
You know, and so she says, can you get us a truck? We need to begin to move whatever is left, because they said they are coming back. And so we get up our loins, you know, and we get a truck. And we began to evacuate. We began to evacuate for a whole day. Of course, you know, they had a lot of things were taken, but there were still things left.
If you could be evacuating the entire day.
Yes.
That's so much to be grateful for.
So we're just putting them in our houses. After my house was full, my sister's house. And this is where I talk about favor. And I live in an estate. And that estate, the gym was empty. So I think 3 of my neighbors opened up their houses.
Wow.
And we're just putting things in people's houses. And the following day, you know, I think that same day, we decided to, like I said, we chose to count our blessings. And it's a story of restoration. So the following day, we said it will all end in praise. And by then we had sealed up, the government had come in, and it's a very interesting season, because my house becomes a Yara Itaja again. And our customers said they're not going anywhere. And so I began to attend to people in the Yara Itaja again. And then for me, it's a story of grace, a story of favor, a story of such loyalty. And I immediately, I think where I think I was really blown away was somebody had called the following day and said, oh, please, can you send us your account details? I said, account details? We heard what happened. And, and she sends us a cash gift. And I remember praying the following morning, and I felt the Lord say, give me back that cash gift. So I sold it back to the Lord, I sold it back. And this was the beginning of God's favor. People began to give us in their millions.
Wow.
People began to give us. I'll just hear a phone call. Oh, somebody will go to the Lekki store and say, oh, we heard what happened. Can you please have this? Communities were giving us. And I thought they were giving everybody. Apparently, I didn't know it was just us they were giving.
Wow.
And so when the other shop owners, we to decide to start giving back to them as well, we will go and buy furniture. And once they hear, oh, it's SARS, they will say, oh, no, please don't pay for the furniture. We'll go and buy electronics. There was a release
of... we say extraordinary grace.
And, I thought it was a norm, but God decided to embarrass us.
Wow.
And we opened, and so when it was time to open the stores back, we had opened the Lekki store back.
Yes.
And for me, for the ShopRite store, I'd always wanted to innovate that store. And so for me, I heard the word, it was a new beginning. And he wanted us to change from the floor to the ceiling. We didn't want to have any memory of the old store. And God restored us. We opened back the stores back on the 4th of December, which happens to be my mom's remembrance. And I remember us praying that morning. It was a case of restoration, because even up to now, some stores are still not open. 2 years after. Some malls are still not open.
I know.
But God helped us.
Because the losses were enormous.
So I don't even know how we did it, but we all came together. And I think the icing on the cake was, He now gave us our own building.
Wow.
And we opened our headquarters this year.
Yes.
And for us, it was a heart full of gratitude.
That's right.
We were so grateful to God. And I heard my father talk about the story of SARS.
Yes.
God, I remember when we got that property, we never thought. You see, sometimes when God pushes you out, so if that fire had not happened, we won't have. We would still be in our comfort zone. But God pushed us to our own property. And I remember when we were building that property, how God gave us, how God took out the people there and gave it to us was extraordinary favor.
Wow.
And I remember my siblings, my management team saying we needed to put a lift in the building. And I said, lift for what? It's not expensive. And God said, no, you are building an institution. It's not about you, it's for generations yet unborn. And so for every time I go into the SAS flagship store, our new building, we opened our head office.
Yes.
I'm in awe of God. I see the place overflowing with such abundance. And this was us that had nothing.
Wow.
And He gave us even more stores again. And so that's the business part.
Wow.
And so this September, I remember coming to see you on your birthday, and I said, oh, this September is so special to me.
Yes. Because
exactly this time last year, I call it my September to remember.
Yes.
I was born in the month of September as well. And I remember I tell you that my name is Inumidun.
Yes.
I will tell you my Inumidun story on another day. But Inumidun means I'm happy. Yes. And this time last year, I had gone for an event. And at that event, I had eaten. And my tummy starts to hurt me. And I say, let me go home. Maybe when I move my bowels.
Yes.
Only for me to get to the house. And my daughter has to call her dad and says, my mom's tummy is hurting her. And I was rushed to the hospital. But a lot of dilly-dallying. I said, I'm going back home. And after the third day, I was taken to a proper hospital, I don't know. And I was still trained up. And then they, I did a scan, and it was found out that I had a bowel obstruction.
Wow.
I said, bowel obstruction. What was the meaning of that?
Hey.
And you know, the testimony there is that I didn't eat for 10 days.
Wow.
No food, no water.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. And they were feeding me through drips. After they didn't even know where to pass the drips anymore. And I remember them putting a drip on my leg. I think it was the most painful thing. But you know, I have the pictures, you know, and in all of this, I would still be smiling. Wow. You know, I would still be saying thank you to the Lord. I remember saying, God, I don't really understand what's happening. And He says I should go to Psalm 46 verse 10. And Psalm 46 verse 10 says, be still and know that I am God.
Be still.
And you know, there was a tube they had to put from my nose to my tummy. 3 times the tube would come out, and they would have to imagine them putting the tube, and they're saying be swallowing it. And every time he would say, he reminded me of the thorn in the flesh that Paul had. And he would say, my grace is sufficient for you, and God's grace was sufficient. And so I was scheduled for surgery, and my surgery was scheduled to take place on the 16th of September. I said, Lord, okay. On the morning of my surgery, I felt led. I felt the Lord wanted me to sow a seed. And so I sowed that seed. After He told me to sow another seed. In fact, I was so weak. I didn't even know how to press phone. Can you imagine not eating for 10 days, no food, no water? Every time I'll ask for water and I'll just rinse my mouth. You know, sometimes it was as if what our Lord Himself had gone through. And on the morning of my surgery, so my surgery is scheduled for 8 o'clock in the morning. And I remember my husband signing the forms, and my husband now says, are you going to listen to your prayer call? I said, I'm not listening to any prayer call right now. I just let them just do whatever they want to do. But my husband switches on, you know, this prayer line. And you know, when he switches it on, 10 minutes after he switches it on, a word of knowledge comes forth, and he says, there's somebody here. They say there's something wrong with your bowels, and they are considering surgery. But the Lord says, I'm reversing the irreversible. And my husband and I look at ourselves. This is me. It was so spot on. It was so spot on. And we say, okay. I was already scheduled for surgery. So 8 o'clock, they come to wheel me into theater. Once I get into the theater, they were even playing worship song. By then, my confidence, you know, I wasn't afraid. And you know, the anesthetist was following them WHO instructions. Yes. What's your name? I said, I'm not doing surgery again. No, God has healed me. Oh, I just got a word from the Lord. And she says, I know you're a woman of faith.
Yes.
But the story is that we're going to go in there and we're not going to see anything. And of course, I was sedated. And by the time I wake up, my father says, the first thing I say is, the siege is over.
Wow. Wow.
And the siege is over. Okay.
Siege is
and
over.
Strength came from nowhere. From the recovery room, I was able to go back to my word.
Awesome.
You know, this is me that had not eaten in days. You know, they had to observe, oh, you have to pass well, you have to pass wind. You know, God has such a sense of humor. Yes. In fact, they kept on saying, have you passed the wind? I said, I think so. But in the day they came for their word round, the thing just came out in front of them. And so they said, okay, so now you're going to eat. And I remember my auntie was there, and she was feeding me with teaspoon because it had to be gradual.
You know, the things we take
I remember
for
2 days
granted.
after, or 3 days, you know, when my doctor comes in, and I said, excuse me, sir. I call him Dr. A. Please, what did you do? He says, we didn't even have to touch your bowels.
Wow.
We just filled the additions. I said, okay. And this was me that they had said, oh, my BP was so high. They were giving me BP. I said, no, this is not my portion. My BP is normal and I'm a happy child. And by the time I was discharged, you know, and I came for, you know, dressing. Yes. By the time they checked it, you know, it was back to normal. You know, my recovery was so sweet. It was speedy. You know, God truly restored me.
Wow.
You know, And I began to eat. In fact, now I eat everything and anything. I thank God for the pictures I took. I call it capture the memories.
Yes.
You know, because nobody knew I went through surgery. In fact, by the time I went back like a week after, they didn't even recognize me in the hospital.
Wow.
You know, God truly healed me. He truly restored me.
Wow.
I mean, there's just so much I could talk about.
Wow.
You know, I remember, you know, the first surgery as well. The one that happened in surgery in Germany. And I forgot to tell this part. And so they had put like a stent on my inside. So I was meant to take it out 4 months after. So I'd gone back in February.
Yes.
You know, God just reminded me of this now. And I'd gone back to the hospital and they had intubated me, taking me to theater again. Only for me to wake up. And I get up as normal. I open up and I found out that they didn't open me up.
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but I remember I had said that I told the Lord that I didn't want any more surgeries.
Wow.
And God did a miracle there. He just wanted to prove himself to me. The interesting part was that we had paid for this. My money was returned back to me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
In Germany?
Yes. In fact, recently again, they called me that I even had more credit.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I had more credit. So it was a story of
extraordinary grace.
Yes, that's the word.
Extraordinary grace.
I just had to remember that.
Wow.
Part. Yes.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You know, I thought I was going to be opened up. I wasn't. You know.
Awesome.
But they brought out the thing somehow.
Awesome.
But I wasn't opened up.
Awesome.
These are professors that knew what they were doing. It wasn't a city in Wisberding. You know, so I thank God for his faithfulness.
Yes.
I thank God for my family. You know, I thank God for my siblings and our management. I thank God for all our staff. You know, there's just so much.
You know, we can't go without talking about, you know, you and your siblings working together. I mean, that's a story for another day.
Yes.
Because it's not easy for siblings to work together. So yours is a model.
Yeah.
A model of a wonderful family. What family really is about. Because when we're talking about you guys, okay, you're selling fabrics. So one would think, oh, they're all women. No, you're not all women.
Oh,
so
no, we're
male
boys
and female. He gave to your parents.
And 3 girls.
3 boys. I mean, it's so amazing. And this is, like we said, transgenerational wealth. From your mom to you, and definitely passing on
from
to
our own grandmom to her.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So she had inherited the instincts of trading from our own mom.
Wow.
As well.
Wow.
I remember in the early days of our business, somebody had come
really
into the store
extraordinary
and said, "Don't you people fight?" That's my sister.
Yes.
And I still remember that day. This was still in the 90s.
Yes.
And I said, "We don't fight." I said, because our family has been built on the foundations of love. We have a culture of love, a culture of respect, a culture of...
I need you to come again on that, Toyin. Your family had been built on
the foundation and culture of love and respect. Yes.
So that is important.
Yes. And
wow.
we don't operate independently. We operate together as a team.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome.
Yes.
Amazing. Operating together as a team. You know, it's so, I don't know whether to say it's going to be story for another day, because, you know, usually they say that, oh, even if the 7 of you were close and you're like that, by the time you start having partners, people come in with different, and here you are, you're all married.
Oh yes, and we're all waxing stronger.
And you're all waxing stronger.
Yes,
I mean, it's just a testament to the tenacity, the strength of your mom. You know how much, yes, you lost her early, but looking back, you can say to yourself that you're sure she's up there somewhere, smiling down and thanking God for the work she did, raising such incredible children.
I always like to sing that.
Yes.
And I'm standing here only because He made a way. Yes. It all belongs to Him.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Toyin, your story. Certainly a story of extraordinary grace, which is why we said extraordinary grace is your story. You know, it's in every way, you know, from your life, your family, your siblings, your business, everything God has committed to your hands. I mean, it's just a story of extraordinary grace. And I know that if people don't pick up everything that just listening to your story has given somebody somewhere a boost, definitely a boost of no matter the tragedy.
Yeah.
No matter the tragedy, you can always stand tall.
Yeah, there's always light. And you know, I remember when those calls were coming in, and you know, in fact, my team and my staff, they knew me. So once somebody is calling, you know how Nigerians like to call.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, Tony, sorry, we heard what happened.
Pity party.
Yes. So I didn't encourage pity parties.
Good.
And they'll begin to say, Auntie, don't say sorry. Auntie, just be thanking God for us. In fact, I had a prototype message. I said, we're counting our blessings. It will all end in praise.
Wow.
And at this time, I was sending out these messages. Wow. Things were still in ruins.
Wow.
We were still, you know, but there was just so much grace.
Wow.
I remember the second Jara Itaja in my sitting room. How people would come. And I was like, I'll be so afraid. Hey, my husband, you know.
Wow.
But there was just so much grace.
Wow.
In fact, there was one day, my staff had all gone. And this couple coming, their children were getting married. And they said at the end that this is where the new SARS is.
Wow.
I don't know how we were able to sort out the couple, sort out the parents inside my sitting room. There was no ambience because everything was dumped on the floor and things were on the bed in the guest room. So I tell people that actually, once God's hand is on your business, He will help you whatever way. All those other things we do are Jara. The most important thing is the favor of God and His hand. And He helped us.
Wow.
And you know, I celebrate my amazing team as well. Our staff. We've had staff that have been with us for, our staff has been with us for over 30-something years.
Awesome. Amazing. You know, Toyi, you know, in fact, you've taken even the last word already, you know, because I was going to say, you know, there's something we do on the Now Show, which is the last one, and you have taken it.
Okay.
And I can only thank you for such an amazing time. In fact, I would say that I have been built up even from listening to your story.
Wow.
Despite the fact that we're sisters, you know, there's still some things that I'm learning about for the very first time. And, you know, you said it all. You know, yours is a life of extraordinary grace. But you always said to yourself, it would always end in praise. So no matter what it is that you're going through, I hope you've learned from just everything that myself and Tony have discussed, that it will always end in praise. So until we come your way again on the Now Show, I'm saying goodbye for now with my sister, my friend, the extraordinarily graced Toyin Bakare. Toyin. Inumidun. I have to put that.
Oluwatoyin. Inumidun. Bakare.
So from myself and Oluwatoyin, Inumidun Bakare, thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, man. God bless.
Don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't, subscribe to the Now Show channel today and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any video that is uploaded. Thank you for watching.